The Airbenders were nomads, and by definition, that means that they traveled the world. So it never really made sense to me how they were all wiped out by the Fire Nation, because after all, it only showed them hitting the air temples. Or did they? Relics is a story from Avatar The Last Adventures, and it takes place during season 1. The art is amazing and the storytelling is absolutely stunning, so without further ado, let's get into it. It starts off with what looks to be like maybe a Fire Nation colony or an Earth Kingdom town. You can see the mountains in the back, it looks absolutely beautiful. As Team Avatar is exploring this town, Aang ends up going off on his own and he finds some old air nomad relics at this shop. Aang ends up getting curious and he asks the man where he got it, and he tells Aang that he traded for it. Eventually this man tells him he got it from a traveler in the mountains and how he got lost. Hearing this gives Aang hope that there could be more airbenders out there. Later that night, after everybody goes to bed, Aang actually ends up sneaking away from the group. He tells him that he's sorry, but he needs to look into this. As Aang is flying off, he starts second guessing himself about not telling Katara, but he comes to the conclusion that Katara would have just said no because she believes that all the other airbenders are gone. But Aang hasn't given up hope yet. He believes they could be hiding in these mountains underneath him. After a while of flying, Aang ends up finding this weird stone tower with air nomad tattoos on it, and it has eyes, and it turns out Aang knows what it is. He calls it a stupa, and seeing this, he comes to the conclusion that at one time there were airbenders here. Aang ends up noticing that the caves down there were man-made, and he runs down to them. He ends up finding a cave full of airbender stuff, and he sees a man wearing a cape, and asks him, "Do you live here, and do these items belong to you?" He turns around, but unfortunately, instead of seeing another airbender, he sees the merchant from earlier. Aang ends up getting surprise attacked by some Fire Nation guards, and he's captured, and Commander Zhao actually comes up, or actually Admiral, which is kind of weird because I believe this takes place before the promotion, but who cares. Zhao ends up explaining how this tactic was actually used many years ago by Fire Lord Sozin. There were a few airbenders who escaped, but they laid down traps for them. These caves were special made to look like they were inhabited by other airbenders, which is honestly so cruel. I can see why they didn't put this in the show. It's honestly a little bit too mature for a younger audience. Like, first they get rid of all the airbenders, and then they set traps to get rid of the few that finally escaped. Like, yeah, I can see why this wasn't in the show. Aang ends up fighting Zhao and all of the guards by using all of the relics around the room. He actually ends up spinning this dorje and creating a giant tornado inside of this room and makes his quick escape. Surprisingly enough, he doesn't take any of the relics with him. Back at home, Sokka and Katara are worried sick, thinking that the Fire Nation had captured Aang and that they could be next. They see Aang returning and confront him. Then Katara ends up coming up with the idea that Aang was just exploring the mountains because they reminded him of the airbenders, and that the airbenders probably would have been attracted to this place. This comic ends in probably one of the saddest ways in all of Avatar. Without explaining anything that he went through and everything that he learned, he just tells Katara, yeah, a few of them probably were. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I definitely enjoyed reading the story and recapping it with you guys. If you guys made it this far in the video, I think I earned your subscription. Leave a like if you liked the video, subscribe if you're new, and oh yeah, I'm sorry about my voice. I've been feeling really sick these past couple of weeks, so it's been hard to make videos. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.